I don't understand. Why do we have lines down the block for people to get access to healthy food? It doesn't make sense. And what I hear is there's not enough food.
What we are seeing is record usage of food shelves. So last year we saw about 9 million visits to food shelves statewide. That is 2.5 times the visit numbers that we were seeing in 2020.
And for every one meal provided by food shelves in Minnesota, SNAP provides 9. Food shelf operators say when the new requirements put in place by the Big Beautiful Bill Act kick in and some people lose access to SNAP, food shelves cannot make up the difference.
This is coming on top of a food system, an emergency food system that has grown and stretched in recent years to be at a place where we are now supporting 18% of households in Minnesota on a regular basis.
The system really is at capacity. And so as we look at potential changes, I think there will be really hard trade-offs that we need to make.
Those trade-offs were considered by senators as part of the new Federal Impact on Minnesotans and Economic Stability Subcommittee.
It falls to us to untangle the web of executive orders, policy changes, funding cuts, and the other tools this administration is using to achieve its agenda.
Already, the impact of some of those changes and cuts are clear.
We had the local food purchase assistance program cut March 7th, $4.7 million. The local food for schools and child care cooperative agreement that was cut on March 7th, that was $13 million. We had SNAP Ed cut, 60 people laid off.
We need to remember through all of this, all of these numbers that you hear, all of these statistics that you guys are speaking of, these are people. These are children that are going to bed hungry. These are mothers that are not eating so that their children can eat.
Of the coming cuts, one place senators saw they could improve upon was the state's SNAP error rate, which was around 9% in 2024, just under the national average of about 11%. New federal standards say states above a 6% error rate can face financial penalties.
If you have 0% errors, there is no cost share. It goes up to a 10% cost share based on higher error rates. In Minnesota, that cost shift would equal $86 million a year based on the current caseloads.
Why is Minnesota, relative to some of our neighboring states and our history, why is our error rate higher?
Error rates, as we will tell you, are often based on client errors that we are unaware of. The forms they have to fill out are very complicated, and errors happen. And we do our best to uncover them and rectify them as soon as we learn of them.
It really boils down to our systems. They haven't been advanced. There isn't that interoperability.
For 9 years, I've heard about the green screens and how antiquated our system is to communicate. We need you guys screaming from the top of the mountaintop.
We need to understand, so let's just listen and understand and take the information in and work together to try to solve some of these problems.
And we heard today from the counties that they need better technology to get these error rates down, to be able to match some of our peer states, our neighboring states, who have been able to get lower than that 6% error rate. And that's important not just for the federal funding and the shares, but it's important for the Minnesotans that SNAP serves, and to make sure that people are getting the benefits they're entitled to.
I am fully confident, and I would expect that with the proper tools, we can and we should get to that 6% error rate or less.
We have a lot of work ahead of us to modernize our systems, absolutely. To get them to talk to each other, absolutely. But I'm just really sitting here with the understanding that $300 billion were cut from SNAP between now and 2034. That will impact Minnesotans. And we will have to build something totally new to cover that gap.
Because it's not just the families on SNAP that will have to mind the gap. We all will.
Local grocers will lose revenue. Schools face greater instability among students, and businesses have employees under duress as they're forced to choose between paying their rent and feeding their families.
We need healthy food in our communities, and we're relying on you guys to work together, to speak to each other, to hear the people, and stop pointing fingers.
Veronica Marshall, Senate Media Services.